All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
Make America great again.
The Big Mig.
Good morning and welcome back to the Big Mig Show. I'm your host, Lance Miliaccio, with my co-host, George Ballantine. Of course, it's always tip of the spear on this show because you know our plan, educating and unifying the country one episode at a time. It's how we do it. We try to bring in the current, really important news from all over the globe, and we try to vet it to make sure we're not spoon-feeding you a bunch of garbage like mainstream media. George B., what's shaking bacon? What's up, bro?
Thursday, huh? Thirsty Thursdays. That's what it is. That's what's shaking. Thirsty Thursdays. You know, another day, another dollar. I got the gas company here taking the meter out from inside the house, putting new lines in and putting it outside. So,
Yeah.
you know, with that all morning, they're still here. Should be like another hour.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
Well, listen, if
By
you love the
jet.
show, it's an easy drill. Thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe. You know how to do it. You can do the paid subscription. Fantastic. Rumble Rant tips are always appreciated. Or you can tip us in the Rumble wallet. That's right. Connected if you want to give us a little Bitcoin or whatever. We're still taking it, even though I know the crypto market's a little funky right now. And, of course, if you'd like to sponsor the show, you can hit us up at info@thebigmig.com. That's right, info@thebigmig.com. In the meantime, Prepper Bars. Silver and gold. We've been talking about it for months and months and months. Hopefully you listened. It's really been about 2.5 years. You bought in. Hope you'd be way up and you'd appreciate the fact that we gave you a little advice. Still a great investment. The 62.2 gram Prepper Bar, perforated and very easily broken down. Your choice of 3 separate denominations. You can see there's 3 different sizes on there, a small, a medium, and large. It's going to fit a multitude of needs. Diversification, asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil. Or in the case of the Prepper Bar, it's very unique utility for barter and trade. You're not going to want to carry around a pair of tin snips or cutters and your 1 ounce gold or silver and chop off small pieces. This is a way you can make a smaller than full 1 ounce denomination payment. Great to have some of these on hand, exclusively mined and minted in the great US of A. They're always selling out fast. They've got them in gold and silver. They have them in stock. And you're going to get that assay report, which is super important nowadays because, of course, lots of counterfeit gold and silver come out of some of these places like eBay, but it's coming out of China, India, you name it. It's ugly. You go to sell it, you're going to find out you got counterfeit. That'll never happen with Genesis Gold Group. They got decades in the business. We trust them. Stellar reputation. Faith-based company. Head over to genesisgoldgroup.com. That's right, genesisgoldgroup.com. Or call them at 888-526-7154, 888-526-7154. Don't forget to tell them the Big Mig Show sent you.
Break me off a piece of that Prepper Bar.
All right.
all right. All right, what?
Always a lot going on. We talked about the only solution for Fauci many times on this show. Knowing that currently that blanket garbage pardon that went all the way back to 2014 issued by Joe Biden as a cover-up. Well, he's been operating, of course, with immunity and impunity because of that pardon. Disgusting, I know. We all hope that somehow they would drain the swamp, Joe Biden being one of them. They would get rid of all those auto pen pardons. But no, none of that's happening. Not at all. But at least the states are taking the initiative. Florida and many other states are going after Fauci, and Florida has just officially subpoenaed Anthony Fauci. And I think it's a big deal because, of course, it's the only way to make Dr. Death face the consequences for his horrendous, self-serving, narcissistic, selfish, serial killer actions. How do you feel about this, George? The subpoena's out. Do you think we'll get some relief? I mean, when I hear subpoenas for Congress or subpoenas for the DOJ, I don't know. I'm conditioned. I go, But I don't feel like this about Florida.
Dr. Death, huh? I like that. Now, you know what? I have faith in Florida. Listen, if there's, and I'll say this because you try to be legal, even though we know, but I'll say it for the liberals out there. If Florida finds Fauci at fault, that he broke the law in whatever, how many ways, this and that, then I have faith in Florida that they will indict him. So, like I said, you know, Florida would be smart, especially for DeSantis if he's going to take a 2028 run. I mean, because if he has this under his book when he's on that debate stage, hey, I'm the only one that actually, you know, convicted for Anthony Fauci for all the debts and crimes. I mean, that will propel him because a lot of Americans a lot of Republicans want to see that. So
yeah, this is a big move for DeSantis on his aspirations. Of course,
listen, let me tell you something. DeSantis will get my vote right there for that. How about that?
Well, I have to tell you that
because I ain't seen no convictions coming from this administration.
Yeah, you know, the one thing this administration doesn't recognize is all those promises about government gangsters and drain the swamp is rolling over onto Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance. Nobody really knows who's going to be leading the way on the presidential run.
You know what?
Some stories.
I love that you brought that up, bro, because they can't get their way out of this because you had the presidents here, both Vance and Rubio. So I don't want to hear, oh, you know, the administration, this and that. No, you're the top dogs in the administration. You have his ear. He takes your advice and listens. So I'm trying to save you guys when this comes about. So might as well get some shit going. Because remember, Lance, and you always bring this up, Lance.
Yeah.
What's his name from the War Room? I can't remember his name right now. Oh my God. Bannon. Got the same thing like Fauci right now. Contempt of Congress. And he was put away in jail. Well, we're going to get to that, but what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
And, you know, contempt of Congress is okay. I mean, if Fauci gets a couple of months, all right, whatever. It's just not what we want or deserve. I mean, listen, Fauci's actions caused a tremendous amount of damages. Damages to people's families, to their businesses, to their lives, to their loved ones, you name it. And the fact that our own federal government can't not bring the justice system to bear because of these shitty canned pardons. I believe in the power of the presidential pardon, but I don't believe in the pardons that were auto-penned, you know, for Biden while he was in Delaware or he was somewhere else, that I don't believe he ever approved. And I don't understand why Fauci's pardon goes all the way back to 2014. What did they know about 2014 that they needed to cover Fauci for that? But yeah, I think it's a big move by Florida. You know, I know they subpoena, you know, I know that the contempt of Congress has been voted, and yeah, great. I think the max sentence for that might be 6 months, but I'm sure they'll give him
1 year.
2 years.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
give him a year. I'd love to see him make his way through prison. For
I get, I know you understand. Because of that pardon, really, the government has no basis to even charge Fauci with anything because of the pardon. Until they try to eliminate that pardon, it is what it is. So the fact that they're not trying to look into the pardon,
yeah,
even though it'd be hard to prove that Biden didn't know that he was getting a pardon and they were using auto pen because his brain is mush anyway. So it'd be hard. That's the point to prove to try to remove that pardon. So I mean, now it's up to the states.
Those pardons could be effectively removed if you prove the criminality and the fraud in the Biden election, right? And they said they caught them all. Donald Trump said it. He said, I caught them all.
You know what, Lance? There's a story. We're going to get to that. Something came out this morning really damaging about that.
Well, my thing is,
I don't want to jump
we've seen so much fraud in our system. We know we've got a third world nation election system. But I don't see the arrests. I don't see the deep state arrests I thought we were going to have, that we were promised. It's what I voted for, to be honest with you. Sure, I voted for the improvements in our financial, system here in the United States, but I don't even necessarily see that is rolling down to individuals. I have lots of friends and family that are complaining about the prices everywhere, that their money's not going as far. They're getting squeezed at the pump. They're getting squeezed at the grocery store. They're getting squeezed by their insurance companies. They're getting squeezed by the interest rates on their credit card. We still never got that 10% credit card interest that Donald Trump was promising. That never came through. I know the banks didn't want to go along with it. I know that's the problem. The banks never want to go along with anything. That's why the Clarity Act still hasn't passed. Can you imagine the Clarity Act still hasn't passed at this point? It's unbelievable. But look, the AG, I got to give it to him in Florida. What's his name? Earthmeyer? Am I pronouncing that right, George?
I don't know. Udemeyer. He kind of looks like Tim Tebow.
Yeah, he does.
Right?
Yeah, so they issued a formal subpoena to Dr. Fauci under Florida state law seeking a breadth of documents ranging to what we knew, when he knew it, to what he knew, when he knew it, his doubts about the safety and efficacy of the vaccines that he's out there promoting. I don't know if you saw it. They're now promoting a third booster for people. I hope nobody's foolish enough to get it, but
who is?
That's not medical advice. Oh, yeah, Pfizer did a promotion recently. The third booster will really take you to the top.
Didn't they try giving out third boosters? Isn't this like the fifth one? Wouldn't it be?
I don't. I saw this thing that was talking about how Pfizer.
You know how many boosters I got? 0.
Yeah.
You know how many COVID shots I got? 0.
Yeah, 0 vaccines here, 0 boosters.
You know, since you brought it up, you know, I don't know if it's the FDA just approved the mRNA technology for
mRNA.
mRNA. Sorry, thank you for the flu vaccine.
Oh, great.
How many flu vaccines I've gotten in my life? 0. Never gotten any flu vaccines. You know how many times I've gotten a flu? 0 in life. I'm just saying. Just fucking saying.
You have to be cautious. Big Pharma loves to peddle their wares. It's how they make their money, right? I mean, that's how they're so incredibly profitable because they charge us so much. You know, I still don't know if the true costs for pharmaceuticals have dropped. I know the president promised it. I know some stuff has dropped, but not everything.
You know what, Lance? This dude, AG, I don't know how you say his name. It's funny.
Uthmeyer. I think it's Uthmeyer.
Uthmeyer. He gets this done. There's a governorship in his future.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely...
He's young. He's got the looks. He's smart.
He does look like Tebow.
He does, right?
Watching the video, because he looks like maybe Tebow's brother, but he does look like Tebow.
Yeah.
All right, let's play the clip.
All right. Tim Tebow's brother.
Tim Tebow's brother.
Anthony Fauci, Mr. Attorney General, you got the floor. What are you doing?
That's great to be here. Well, just about an hour or two ago, we issued a formal subpoena to Dr. Fauci under Florida state law, seeking a breadth of documents ranging to what he knew, when he knew it, his doubts about the safety and efficacy of vaccines that he's out there promoting. And we're really focused in on his self-dealing. Evidence has come to light that he was trying to personally profit off of this. This is outside of his government duties, his official role. He's trying to pursue book deals, awards, get connected with high rollers that, you know, might help him come into millions and millions of dollars. This is wrong, and it could go towards a deceptive trade practice, fraud, public nuisance, you name it. I think there's many aspects of Florida law that now are implicated.
So what's the evidence that you're pointing out here?
Well, a lot of it, you know, he revealed himself in this diary. We've got communications, emails with subordinates where he's asking them to help work on applications for these awards. We know one award in particular, he made $900,000 on that. Again, this is separate and independent from his government salary.
Interesting. You know, Senator Johnson came out, I think it was today, this morning. He's got Fauci's cell phone from during the pandemic. And be going through that now. Even though really nothing, they can't do nothing because he's got a pardon, but it could help Florida out.
Good news is that the DOJ has a tremendous amount of evidence, and the AG from Florida could request copies of everything they got. He could also work with Senator Johnson. He could also work with Paul Rand, and he could definitely get the information that they've discovered and use that in his case. Because let's face it, the investigation, there's been lots of information, you know, uncovered in Washington, D.C. It's just unusable because of that blanket pardon, but it's not unusable for the Florida AG, that's for sure. I got to say, good job on Florida. Good job on DeSantis. Good job on AG Uthmeyer. I hope that Fauci can face the consequence for action. And maybe a bunch of states, other states are looking at this. I think they should enjoin the action. I think that they should use Florida as a spearhead and bring multiple state actions against him. But we'll have to see. You know, there's always a strategy in this. I'm not sure what their strategy will be, but I don't think this will be the only state. And what's interesting is I wonder what the civil liability will be if Fauci is convicted at the state level. How much does that expose the Fed to civil lawsuits by the people that were harmed by Fauci's actions? If he is criminally convicted in any of these states that are participating, what does that do for the federal government? Are they going to be liable to all the people? I hope so. Because I think it's a sham that they aren't right now. And I think that the pharmaceutical companies need to, I know they did this as an experimental vaccine, but they sure pushed it like it wasn't experimental. I don't know what their liability will look like if Fauci gets convicted, but it probably won't be good.
Who? Where? Florida?
The pharmaceutical companies in all the other states. If they convict Fauci criminally, what I was saying, George, is if they convict him criminally, does that open up enough civil liability for the federal government? It's not a question we can answer. It's more a question wondering what the consequences will be if and when he's convicted criminally in the states.
That's interesting.
All right. So let's give Rand Paul's video a play here, huh?
Sure.
Seeing no other motions, the question is on reporting of an original resolution regarding contempt of Congress. The clerk will call the roll.
Senator Johnson.
Yes.
Senator Langford.
Aye.
Senator Scott.
Yes.
Senator Hawley.
Aye.
Senator Moreno.
On behalf of the millions of people harmed by Anthony Fauci, resoundingly yes.
Senator Ernst. Aye. Senator Moody. Aye. Senator Peters.
No.
Senator Hassan.
No.
Senator Blumenthal.
No.
Senator Fetterman. No. Senator Kim. No. Senator Gallego.
No by proxy.
Senator Slotkin.
No by proxy.
Senator Paul.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, on the vote of those present, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5. On the vote by proxy, and for the record only, the yeas are 0, the nays are 2. On this vote, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5, and the motion is agreed.
Yep. You know, I was surprised. Fetterman voted no, right?
He did, which was a shocker, actually. I kind of expected him to vote yes.
I thought he'd vote yes, too. And I was kind of shocked.
But I'm sure he was pressured into it. You know, the Democrats are.
He don't give a shit.
You know, he must, because he voted no.
I mean, I don't know if they pressured him, but he's not one to back down if he gets pressured. But yeah, it's disappointing.
I don't know. It's a vote. It's a no. All right.
All those people that said he's gonna vote, whatever, that he'd probably switch parties. Now you know it's
so the
not
committee is going to make a direct referral to the Justice Department on this. They're going to bypass a full Senate floor vote.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Required 60 votes and faced a filibuster. Maybe not. I mean, they must think they have a legal basis to bring it directly to the DOJ.
Well, Jonathan Turley said in an interview this morning, he says, and I'm going to quote him, he goes, holding a high-ranking former official in contempt is never a small move. He said the committee is actually pursuing a direct referral to the Justice Department, bypassing a full Senate floor vote that would have required 60 votes and obviously would face a filibuster because freaking Senate GOP don't want to drop the filibuster. But he said that's a shortcut and it's going to face legal challenges. But he said the case law around contempt and the Fifth Amendment is the context is surprisingly thin. And he goes, you know, Fauci's part in that covered back to 2014 is now central because Chairman Rand Paul framed the questions to stay inside the guidelines or the pardon's scope. And by that, he's saying they argue that Fauci no longer has the valid Fifth Amendment claim on those matters because he can't be prosecuted for the underlying conduct, only for potential perjury if he lies while being questioning.
Well, that was supposed to be the argument of why he wasn't allowed to take 111 or 112, whatever it was, Fifth Amendment plays. And I looked at some of the support that looks to me like it's legit, that if you get a presidential pardon, you no longer really have access to the Fifth on anything for that time period that's covered. So in Fauci's case, it's 2014 to mid of, I don't know, 25 or whenever he got the pardon. That pretty much pretty much chops it up. Anything in that time period, when he's asked a question, he's supposed to answer with full transparency and honesty.
Yep.
It's a violation of the pardon not to do so, which makes me wonder, is there a legal basis for a revocation of the pardon?
You know what? They probably could find something if they wanted to, so who knows?
Yeah.
But, maybe Anthony Fauci will reconsider and go back in front of the fucking firing squad and say, all right, I'll answer your questions. And he knows if he would lie, he'd be hit. So it's done. Fauci, you're done. You're exposed. Hopefully Florida goes after him. I wonder, Lance. Let's say 3 states go after him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Florida's the first one, they get a conviction. And then another state gets one, they get a conviction. They can make their sentences consecutive. They don't have to run together with the other states. Is that right? Or what do you think?
That's correct.
So, you get
a individual state gets a conviction. Let's say Florida got a conviction for 5 years and then Texas was in on it. I don't believe Texas's Senate has to run concurrent. I believe Texas could run its own sentence.
Okay. All right. So, we always talk about the uniparty here, how our 3-letter agencies suck. But, it's even on the state levels because the White House just declassified some documents this morning. I'm going to say John Solomon's doing a great job finding stuff and helping to get it declassified. And some people look at his document, there's nothing crazy, but, and this is a big but, Maricopa County Recorder's voter registration data was hacked in 2020. And they say this is appears to be the Elliott Kerwin hack from November 2020. That was investigated by the FBI, and then I don't know. The investigation just vanished. Nothing. We knew that part, but what you didn't know was 633,000 voter files, including, this is crazy, 930 that was sensitive, non-public data were taken. I should put the document, hold on, let me put the one document up. Yep, this is crazy, Lance. What's crazy is they knew about this and nobody declined to do anything. 633,000 records, including 930 voters that were not publicly available. You know what's weird? Why weren't another question I have is when they say out of 633,930 voters were not publicly available. Why would that be? Isn't it all supposed to be public?
I don't know.
But they did
I don't know how that works.
But they did get included. They got domestic abuse victims files. And this is coming from now Kash Patel saying this. They said in an interview in November 2020 with the redacted name, the hacker believed they had extracted 1 to 2 million files. They're saying around estimated to be 4 gigabytes of data. They used a PowerShell script to exploit that Maricopa Recorder's website. But this is how you have the uniparty, where we the people need to stand up and enough's enough, because this is just Arizona. So the U.S. Attorney in Arizona, Attorney General, who, by the way, was a Republican, you had the Maricopa District Attorney and the Pima County District Attorney, all declined to prosecute, but despite having all the evidence, and they even had a freaking confession.
Yeah, this hacker thought he sold 1 million to 2 million files. 4 gigabytes of data using something called a PowerShell script.
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting to me that, I don't know. And why didn't they prosecute? Of course, they didn't want to go public.
There you go.
Maricopa was already under fire.
There you go.
But
you have to say, you remember when they had hearings in court, about that election. Did they hide this evidence and stuff from the lawyers? Because that would have made a difference in their cases when they were suing and stuff.
I don't know. It looks like Maricopa reported the intrusion through the Arizona Counterterrorism Information Center on November 2nd. by election day. So November 3rd, the incident was being circulated among federal election security officials. Now, if that's not reason enough to be concerned, of course, this person tried to delete these files, tried to get rid of them before the feds got a hold of it. I think this is pretty unbelievable. And the fact that they covered up is even more. I mean, are they going to bring criminal charges against these Maricopa officials?
Why would they? So this is what here. The hacker acknowledged, listen, I'm going to read this statement from the hacker. The hacker acknowledged that he knew he was going to be visited by law enforcement. So what did he end up doing? He deleted and reformatted his hard drives and deleted his Google Cloud data. So he confessed to the destruction of evidence while seeming to acknowledge he was aware he had committed a crime. But no one would investigate. Not the U.S. Attorney, Arizona Attorney General, Maricopa, Pinal County District Attorney. And you know what, Lance? Who was the Pinal County Sheriff? Do you remember?
Wasn't that Sheriff Wham?
Yes, sir. Was he aware of this? I don't know. Did they? Maybe not. But this is crazy.
I mean, think about what we're talking about here. The U.S. Attorney wouldn't go after it, so the feds knew, and they should have. I mean, this is pretty incredible, this kind of cover-up. And it's federal election interference. And the officials, when they didn't go after him and when they didn't report this and they didn't let the public know, I think it's misprisions of a felony. I think they all became co-conspirators. Even the U.S. Attorney, knowing about it and not prosecuting, probably became a co-conspirator. Question I have for the administration, the question I have for Kash Patel is, are you going to go after all these government officials for the cover-up? Are you going to go after all these people? Because it hasn't been 7 years. Statute of limitation is 7 years on federal crimes. So you tell me, you got plenty of time. You got plenty of facts. You got plenty of evidence. Kash seems to know. So Kash, my question is, are you going to go after the U.S. Attorney that didn't prosecute? Are you going to go after the Arizona Attorney General, Maricopa or Pinal County District Attorneys, or maybe all the other government officials that knew about this and didn't do anything about it? I don't know. Are you going to have the balls to actually prosecute a U.S. Attorney, a federal U.S. Attorney, for not doing his job, protecting the American people, enforcing the statutes and the code? I don't know. My guess would be no, you won't do jack shit. And this administration won't do jack shit because they don't arrest government officials. They don't prosecute government officials. Deep state arrests, what are those? They don't even know what the definition of a deep state arrest is. Here we are, more of the same. The Republicans should be up in arms about this. I got to be honest, George, until you showed me this story, I hadn't even seen this story. So pretty incredible and pretty disgusting.
So I'm just reading something in the chat. They're talking about blackpilling. The Dems and rhinos will never have power again. Blackpilling, this and that. Well, never have power again, but we have current Dems and rhinos that are in power right now. Because here's another big scandal. This John Thune came out with saying that, not John Thune, just the news, John Solomon came out and said, John Thune and Tom Cotton are blocking DOJ from obtaining Brennan transcripts before U.S. Senate committees and impeding the investigation into former CIA chief. Seems like those are rhinos. They're still in positions. One being a Senate leader. Why are they blocking this?
Can John Thune be any more of a scumbag than he already is? I mean, he can't get the SAVE Act done. He doesn't really show true leadership. Tom Cotton, I'm jumping on board. You're going to block the DOJ. And how do you block the DOJ? Why doesn't the DOJ just raid Congress? See, this is the whole thing. These institutions and these agencies have power. What do you mean they're blocking getting Brennan transcripts before the U.S. Senate committee? Screw that. Just raid the place and snatch the freaking transcripts. See, this is what I don't understand. When one agency pushes against another, why doesn't the other agency use its full force and effect? Why? Are you trying to protect Thune and Cotton? How come the FBI didn't raid wherever these documents are located and just go grab them? They're required to transmit them. They don't have the right to cover it up. So DOJ investigator Joe DiGenova, they're stopping him. Well, Joe, have the FBI, have the U.S. Marshals, give them a warrant. Have them go in there and snatch what you need. Why wait for these jackasses? If you're going to wait around for Thune to do anything, you're sure as hell. And Tom Cotton, shame on you for being part of this. Unbelievable. But yeah, they're definitely rhinos. And remember, on this show, we talk about everybody. We're not going to just go after the Democrats. We're going to go after the Republicans too, because I'm not just blindly giving anybody support, this administration or a political affiliate in any way or any agency, just because, well, you got to support it, trust the plan. I don't trust the plan. My trust for the plan went out the window 3 or 4 months into the Trump administration's tenure. Everybody can say, oh, you're being impatient. I'm not being impatient. You guys keep saying that right till the end of Donald Trump's term. And I got to tell you right now, a lot of people aren't happy. A lot of people are bitching and moaning about Massey and MTG and Tucker Carlson. They probably feel the same way that I do. I mean, I'm not defending anything they're doing. I'm not promoting what they're doing. I'm telling you right now that there is not shit getting done fast enough.
Here's another question. Why is Acting Attorney General Tom Blanche refusing to authorize a subpoena to the U.S. Senate to obtain those documents? Anybody can answer that question? I'm looking in the chat. I want to see somebody give me an answer for that, because he doesn't want to do it. And so how do we trust that Todd Blanche is really going to go do the right thing, go after anybody that's supposed to be criminally freaking locked away?
John Thune and Cotton have been refusing for 4 months. I guess the first request came in late January, early February, and they're refusing to provide Joe DiGenova to the prosecutors in Florida, which is the Florida case that everybody seems to be thinking is going to help, to the Miami U.S. Attorney, to the Justice Department. What are you waiting for? When they refused in January, when I didn't have my stuff the 1st of February, Todd Blanche, Kash Patel, I would have been kicking in their doors. Why don't you treat them as regular Americans when they refuse a subpoena, when they refuse a demand? How come we're kissing their asses? Thune and Cotton don't deserve special treatment. They're just a couple of people that got elected. That's the problem. They always hold these government officials like there's some higher level of authority, like there's some kind of a demigod. The statutes, equal application of the law, Todd Blanche. Equal application of the statutes, Kash Patel. Why don't you just raid and go get what you need? Go to the Senate Intelligence Committee where they store this stuff and just go in there and seize it. Take boxes of shit out of there. You don't have to ask. Just get the warrant. And this is what I mean. I mean, this goes on and on and on, and we hear about this stuff, and it's disgusting. Because I guarantee you, if you refuse to provide this stuff in January or February, if George and I refuse to provide it in January or February, what do you think would be happening? What exactly do you think would be happening right now? Because I can tell you what would be happening. They'd get a warrant, and they'd raid you. They'd take whatever they want, and they'd tell you had plenty of time to comply, and you didn't comply, and this is what's going to happen. What about the prosecutors down in Miami? Why don't you issue warrants? You have jurisdiction. How about the U.S. prosecutor that's handling the Florida case? Why aren't you issuing warrants? See, this is what I mean. This is 4 months burned up, or even more than 4 months. You got January, February. Let's just not count January. We'll just say February, March, April, May, June, July. I mean, how long are we going to wait? You're 6 months in. You don't need to wait 6 months to have Thune do the right thing or Senator Tom Cotton. Screw those bitches. They're just a couple of people with a title as a senator. Who cares? I've said it all along. Stop giving these people service. These people don't deserve service. Stop giving them, stop taking care of their lawns. Stop delivering their Amazon packages. Stop going to their houses to stop their dry cleaning. Stop it all. Because, man, they are not doing the job for the American public. This is disgusting.
So I want to bring some up. So it's really not so much in Trump's hands. I'm gonna say it's more in the people he gave positions to, like Kash Patel and 3-letter agencies and them, Attorney General, because Trump may not be aware of every little document and stuff. He only goes by his briefings and what is being told to him. So if they're leaving stuff out, then he's not aware. However, if he does know and doesn't do anything about it, then it's an issue for me. Like Janine, hold on, Lance, let me finish. Lance, let me finish.
President Trump,
let me finish. Janine Pirro, I'm going to take that case as an example. Her ass got called to the White House, and Trump was pissed, and I don't know what he said to her, but she was walking out fucking heels in hand and boxes and stuff. Haven't heard from her since, really. And that's because she didn't want to prosecute Lincoln Memorial shit. That, and I think a couple other people she dropped now, too. So, But you don't know. But now he's going to be aware of this because he's going to see this if he sees the news and stuff. Go ahead, Lance. I'm sorry.
I was just going to tell you that I would assume, because if John Solomon has a decent relationship with Trump, I would assume that he's probably given Donald Trump a full briefing statement, a full report on this. I believe Trump has it. I'm not blaming Trump for this. I'm blaming the DOJ. I'm blaming the FBI. They sure didn't waste any time when it came to arresting and investigating and indicting J6ers. Seems like the system can work really quickly when they want it to. Why wait around for John Thune? You guys already know he's a rhino piece of shit. Tom Cotton, same thing here. Why wait? And here's the question. Why are Thune and Cotton, why are they protecting Brennan? You would think by now they recognize what Brennan was all about. Why would they protect John Brennan? You tell me that, George.
Because they're all complicit in it. They're freaking rhinos.
Co-conspirators. You guys, they know the crimes were committed.
Why do you think Thune doesn't want to get the SAVE Act passed?
Because he's a piece of shit.
Because they're all complicit in on it. Same with the Dems.
They all want to be able to cheat. They don't want voter ID.
Hold on. When you have a corrupt AG like Merrick Garland, of course, yeah, they went after the J6s and all that because you had so much blowback from Democratic Congress and senators, and they all spoke out. But when you hear the GOP, they're like mice. They're they're quiet. They're so scared.
All right, let's play John Solomon's clip for the audience.
Let's.
I'm going to go back to being a reporter for a second. I do not know this information from anything I've gained in government. I can tell you with 100% certainty that Republicans are obstructing the investigation into weaponization. There are two Republicans I can name by name, Senator John Thune and Senator Tom Cotton. They have refused for months now. The first request came in late January, early February. They are refusing thus far to provide to Joe DeGenova, to the prosecutors in Florida, to the Miami U.S. Attorney, to the Justice Department, the transcripts of John Brennan's interviews with the Senate Intelligence Committee. They have refused to do so. I'm going to call out a third name because I don't understand the Justice Department's behavior. When a body that's separate of the executive branch doesn't comply, every other time in American history, go back to Iran-Contra, go back to Watergate, the Justice Department subpoenas the Congress. For some reason, the acting Attorney General, who wants to be the permanent Attorney General, has not authorized a subpoena to the United States Senate to get those documents. Those documents will allow the prosecutors in Miami to decide whether the charges are warranted against John Brennan. The idea that Republican senators will not cooperate with the Republican administration is ridiculous politically, but it's illegal. It's obstruction. There ought to be a grand jury subpoena sitting in the Senate clerk's office, and there ought to be a court case yesterday compelling this because the Justice Department has been delayed by 8 months by two Republican senators who have the responsibility and the ability to deliver this. You want to get to the grand conspiracy case, you need the missing evidence, and the Senate possesses it. And as of this date, I can find no evidence they've turned it over, and there is no grand jury subpoena because the clerk of the Senate would have to report it publicly. I just checked the congressional record again today. So Todd Blanche, Tom Cotton, John Thune, you got some explaining to do to the War Room posse.
So, Blanche, how you always say, like, there's no prosecutions, we always say, both of us, I should say. But this is why, we know they have the grand jury, the panel in Florida, in the Southern District, trying to go after the Russia collusion hoax, 2020 election. I'm just curious, is Todd Blanche not trying to force this out because he wants to get confirmed first and he needs the votes from Thune and Cotton? That could be it too. Maybe. We don't know. Time will tell. I don't know.
It's time to put Tom Cotton and John Thune on Front Street. You guys should, when you get done with our show here today, I'd go over to Thune's account on X. I'd go over to Tom Cotton's account on X, and I'd call them out for what they're doing. Say anything you want, call them names, curse at them, who cares? I wouldn't let these people walk down the street. They're awful human beings. They're not doing the right thing for the American public. It doesn't matter Republican or Democrat. All right, listen, stay tuned. We're going to be right back. When we come back, DEA administrator going out there. He's calling out some stuff. He's definitely bringing the rain. and the pain. Stay tuned. The Big Mig Show. I'll be right back with George Ballantine, myself, Lance Migliaccio. It's tip of the spear, baby. You know how we do it.
Yeah, don't go nowhere.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. Don't leave your future to chance. Order your Silver Prepper Bars now at prepperbar.com. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit warriordogfoundation.org.
All right, welcome back to the Big Mig Show. Here with your hosts, Lance Migliaccio, George Ballantine. Of course, the beautiful Big Mig Mafia in the chat. Our Big Mig Army. So if you're out there listening or watching, come join the chat. Give you a little shout out. Sakozas999, what's up? Jimmy B on Rumble, how you doing? Jimmy B. Yo, Jimmy. Shelly Rose, Glitz Glam Fairy. A lot of people I haven't seen in a bit. There's another one. Where are you? Seen you too. Sears B. Oh, what's up, Sears B? Anyway, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, like, follow, share, and subscribe for $5 a month. We truly appreciate it. It helps us out tremendously. Any and all support, anything you could do is greatly, greatly appreciated. Yep, a lot of work to do in our government. But here's an agency you don't hear nothing much about what they're doing. Usually you hear like big bust, something. But the DA administrator came out, his name, Terry Cole, it came out, I think it was yesterday. He said, talking about trafficking drugs, going to go after people. I don't want to say the whole thing because I don't want to spoil it for you. But they've been kind of quiet. Have you, I don't know, Lance, you heard any big busts about coming from the DA? No, right?
No. But you know, it looks like they're getting to ramp up.
They're going to be doing
cartels. And you see what he said here, which is important. He says, or use public office to protect the cartels, which is almost him telegraphing that they've connected cartel money to political officials. So this will be interesting. Is he telegraphing or is he just setting the groundwork for a major offensive on cartels? I don't know. Listen to his words closely. I think the guy is, this guy's been doing a good job over at the DEA from what I hear. So let's play the clip.
DEA is more focused than it's ever been on dismantling CJNG and bringing its leaders and members and facilitators and corrupt enablers to justice. Let me be clear. If you traffic deadly drugs, profit from the suffering of others, or use public office to protect the cartels, this is your warning. DEA is coming for you. No title, no position, or political connection will shield you. This includes...
Go get him. Get him.
He specifically named the CJJG, which of course is the cartel that's probably reinvested in infrastructure, maybe more than any other cartel. You've seen their guys, they're dressed up and they've got cell phone jammers and all kinds of sophisticated equipment. They look like special forces guys. They've got APVs, they've got, armored trucks. These guys are really sophisticated. They are well entwined with so maybe the CJGG specifically is going to have a bunch of problems. I've often said that to deal with the cartels, you're probably going to have to do drone strikes in foreign countries on a regular basis.
They've been going working in Colombia.
Well, you haven't heard much out
Ecuador.
of that smart Alec Rosenbaum, leader in Mexico.
You haven't heard really a lot coming from Mexico, really.
Yeah. She's kind of just shut her mouth. She hasn't said a whole lot. I'm sure she got a warning. But good. I hope the DEA goes after all of them. They're ruining a lot of lives. The cartels definitely need to have some high pressure. All right. Trump.
Before you say that,
Democrat is socialist.
I don't want to say it.
Trump has got him in his sights. What do you think?
Oh, I think everybody's got him in his sights. But before I was going to say this, when he was speaking yesterday, he had a lady, her husband, and 2 kids up on stage. They were talking about Trump accounts. And one kid went to his mom to the podium. Trump's right behind her. Then he was going by towards the stage, and Trump ran after him to make sure. And the kid goes back to his mom, and Trump said something. I didn't want him to do a Biden, or Trump said it was funny.
A Biden.
And then the kid actually said something like, "Thank you for the Trump accounts." It was cute. And then Trump went on and he's attacking the DSA, specifically Abdul El Sayed. And it's funny because...
Be careful, you got to say his name right.
I say Abdul. Until he comes and meets me in person and teaches me how to say it correctly, I'm saying Abdul. That's why I'm saying it, Lance. It is what it is. When I watch Abdul, and even Trump said it, when I watch Abdul, he's full of shit. He's just, it's just classic.
Let's play a clip.
Every time this has happened, and you do that, you go through squalor and add the word again: filth, crime, death, destruction, embarrassment. You lose your home, you lose your apartment, and that's where the communists will take us 100%. When I watch Abdul, he's full of shit.
I agree. He is full of it. But of course, that's what we got. We got him and Hassan Piker. 2 people they ought to just shut the hell up. I guess counterterrorism expert just told the Senate in a hearing in Michigan that Democratic Senator nominee Abdul El-Sayed has deep ties to the Muslim Brotherhood Network and terror link groups through his father-in-law. And I don't know what M-Gage is, but pretty interesting. So Saeed has been connected to the Muslim Brotherhood Network and terror link groups through his father-in-law. So this is a top counterterrorism expert that delivered this bombshell warning Wednesday during the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee hearing on the Muslim Brotherhood's network operating hidden in plain sight in America. That this is obviously a major national security issue. I mean, what do you think of this, George? This is crazy.
He delivered this warning, right? And he's talking about, I'm going to say Abdul, Lance. I don't know how to say his name any other way. I'm sorry, but Abdul El-Sayed. has deep ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. Okay. Do we have proof of that? If there is proof, show the proof, because the Muslim Brotherhood is designated a terrorist organization. If that's the case,
so why is the father-in-law still being allowed to walk around?
Because the GOP sucks. I mean, why didn't they go after that hacker in Maricopa? Why are they letting why is Thune and Cotton blocking the information on Brennan? It's the same fucking story. But if this expert, I mean, I don't know, did he show proof? He goes, I look at the connections as father-in-law. There's hold on, groups. I mean, that's a father-in-law, but you gotta show that he's involved somehow. But if this is the case, if he's involved, he shouldn't be running for any office. Matter of fact, they should all be locked up. But like Lance just said, why aren't they?
Play the clip.
Good question. Why aren't they?
Abdul El Sayed's candidacy for senator in Michigan concern you?
Yes, sir, it does.
Why is that?
Well, to begin with, I look at the connections that his father-in-law, Chakaku Tayyib, has to Brotherhood-linked groups. This includes being the president at one time of CARE Michigan, also his presence on the Islamic Society of North America Founders Committee, which is only for those most exclusively devoted to ISNA and provides significant amounts of funding. There are other known Brotherhood members on that committee. I would also look at El Sayed's ties to a group called Mgage, which purports to be a Muslim sort of get out the vote or candidate recruitment organization, but it has close ties to CARE. It was created by a former CARE member who at one time was on a terror watch list and was also a consultant to convicted terrorist Samuel Arian.
Do you believe the Islamic Society of North America, or ISNA, is an ongoing part of the Muslim Brotherhood network in the United States?
Yes, sir, I do. There were some HLF documents that reflected hesitation by the Brotherhood that they thought perhaps they were losing control.
Let's talk. I'm looking at something up.
Well, I mean, I hear these things, right? When you have an intelligence guy that's got a briefing he's giving to DC, and I'm sure he's in front of the Senate Judiciary, I'm sure he has the goods. I just don't understand why we're allowing people that are connected to the Muslim Brotherhood to operate here in the United States. They wouldn't be allowed to operate in another country if they were connected to a terrorist organization.
So I have to correct myself, and I apologize. So the Muslim Brotherhood in America is not designated a terrorist organization. In other countries they have, yes, but not here.
How is it possible that the Muslim Brotherhood is designated as a terrorist organization in other countries, but here it's not?
I don't know, but the U.S. Department of State and Treasury has designated specific regional chapters and leaders as global terrorists. So
that doesn't even make any sense to me.
I don't know. So, okay, what regional chapter is Abdul El Sayed and his father-in-law? Are they part of any of these regional chapters? And I don't know. I don't know what chapter they belong to. But thank you for correcting me in the chat. I forget the person that said that.
All right.
Where are you?
This is pretty incredible. You guys, I don't know if you guys know this. You can get personalized Coke cans.
Oh, it's Clan Fairy. What?
You want a Coke can? You want it to be personalized as a gift for holidays or birthdays. You can get your grandchildren's names on it. You get your kids' names. You can get your wife's name. You can get the name of your company on a can. Coke came out with those personalized cans. You pay a little extra. They give you the printed can. They mail it to you. This is pretty incredible. If I hadn't seen the video, I had a question whether it was legit. I would have had to go over and do it myself. But they basically just exposed Coca-Cola. Pretty ugly. So this individual goes on there and he types in and says, you won't believe this. They'll do all these other ones, but they won't do this one. He types in Allah is king. No problem. That's allowed. He types in Satan is king. No problem. That's allowed. What do you think happens when he puts in Jesus is king? Not allowed. Basically, no. So they'll print the devil on a can. But of course, if you want Christ on a can, Jesus Christ, no go. We got a copy of the clip as he's doing this online on the actual website. So he brings the goods. Let's play it.
Hold on, hold on 1 second.
His name is Ryan Half.
I just did. I just went in the site while you were talking and typed in Jesus is King, and it says this name or phrase you submitted is not permitted.
All right, let's play his clip.
Coca-Cola, I'm going to need an explanation for this. All right, we're going to do this one live because I don't want to see any comments that, oh, this is a conspiracy theory, blah, blah. You can see we're on the Coca-Cola website URL right there. We're going to scroll down to personalize our Coke can. The first entry we're going to try is Allah is King. No issues with that. You can see it on the Coke can. Next entry we're going to try. No issues with that. Let's even try Satan is King. Zero issues with Satan. Now let's try Jesus is King. Now that's where there's issues. So you can still see the Satan on the Coke can here. Immediately rejects Jesus is King. Gonna need an explanation on this one.
So while that video was playing, I continued trying. I guess they corrected it, Lance, because you can't put Allah as King. You can't put Satan as King. Does not, it rejects it. But even though that, then we needed controversy to bring this up for them to get this changed in the first place, it's freaking ridiculous.
Pretty unbelievable. I just don't understand the thinking on that. But okay, Coke kind of fixed it, but I don't even know if you did fix it, because why shouldn't you be able to put Jesus is King on your can of Coke if you're going to allow other personalization?
Can I read it to you?
Yeah.
The name or phrase you submitted is not permitted. Names and phrases may not be permitted if they belong to a business, organization, celebrity, public figure, school team, or other trademark, are religious or political in nature, or could be considered inappropriate or unsuitable for other reasons. Let me just see something.
You put in Trump as King?
I'm just going to put Donald J. Trump. Can't put Donald J. Trump. Let's put Biden. Oh, you can't even put Biden's name. That's kind of messed up that you want to set, let's say one of the kids, because Trump likes to drink Coke, right? And one of the grandkids wants to get some special thing with his name on it, but you can't. That's fucked up. Let me see something. Hold on. Let me put my name. Oh, my name is good. I need to get more political, huh? Fuck.
There you go.
Let me put the Big Mig. Big Mig Show is good.
All right.
All right, look at that.
All right, let's talk about this.
Maybe I'll just send Trump cans with Big Mig Show in it.
Anybody else out there want to eat lab-grown meat? Because I know I don't want
What?
Which is really interesting. So the first national food chain, it appears, that wants to serve lab-grown meat is Sprouts Grocers. Ooh. So they're now selling lab-grown meat because, of course, nothing says natural like flesh that never had a mother. So you could just, you get kale chips still cost more than therapy, and of course the produce section smells faintly of virtue. Sprouts Farmer Markets has done the unthinkable. That's right. They started stocking lab-grown meat. I don't know what's natural about it. I don't know what's organic about it. Not the kind of that comes from a cow that once started as a, stared at a sunset, not a living animal. This is the kind of meat that's grown in a stainless steel tank.
Is this real meat?
No.
So
it's cellular agriculture.
So someone that's like vegetarian can eat this?
I don't know.
It's not real meat though.
Being cellular, well, I think it's cellularly has the same structure as real meat. I mean, I'm just curious why Sprouts went down this road, because of course their whole thing is natural foods, which they appear to have abandoned now. So they're going to now stock this meat. So even the most wholesome grocery chain, I guess, will play God with a petri dish. I don't know. This is It's going to be sold as the ultimate ethical upgrade, zero animal suffering, lower emissions. But the question is, what's it do in your body? This is not as God intended.
I think I need to buy my own half a cow or something. How do you trust what's in the stores?
I mean, you got a question, right? Some people say they've been sneaking it in other locations. I don't know if it's true. I mean, it does appearance-wise, they are getting better and better. It looks realistic, but I don't know, man. I don't think this is something that I would ever want to participate in from what I know.
I have a question for the people out there. Anybody in chat? Have you ever ordered like you could order like a half a cow or a quarter of a cow, and they'll send it like they'll cut it all up and
I have done that.
I'm asking people in the show in the chat first.
Yeah.
And have you ever got like from a reputable like good farmer that? Let me know in the chat who'd you buy from. No, who'd you use, Lance? When was this?
It was years ago. I haven't done it in a long time because I don't really have a large freezer here where I'm at now.
What did you buy? How much?
I bought a quarter cow a couple of times.
How much room do you need for that?
You know, it was a reasonable amount. I mean, I had a separate freezer that I stocked it in, and it filled it up pretty well. Quarter cow's a lot of meat. You get a lot of ground meat. You get all the extra pieces. You can kind of designate, you know, which part of the cow, the front or the back, or what you're looking for. But it's this was range fed, you know, grass fed, range fed, organic beef. Very good. I mean, much better than the grocery stores. I thought it was a great buy, and it was a good deal. But by pound, when you got all done, you got a lot of material. You got a lot of steak.
Somebody says go local for your meats and produce.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so really, there's really by me, I don't even know where there is a local, but like a real butcher anymore. I really don't. Produce, yeah, we like a lot of our produce we go to like they have places that get from the farms and stuff.
Farmers markets.
Yeah, farmers markets. Thank you. But I'm trying like.
I'm sure you can find a place, George, that does air freight shipping. It's not really.
No, there's places. I know places that do shipping and stuff. I know somebody's friends with a guy who actually has the farm in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm just
they
curious.
Air freight it in. It stays fresh. They refrigerate it and they put dry ice in with it, so it stays cold. All right.
PA. I don't want to drive all over.
Nothing
PA.
more American than socialism. It appears to be that seems to be the campaign cry for the Democratic Socialists of America. And we've got an Ethiopian-born Colorado DSA candidate named Malat Kiros, and she says there's nothing more American than socialism. She's one of those campus radicals. She spent years in college as a professional student. Of course, she was born in Ethiopia like many other DSA radicals who were not born in this country. She got her 15 minutes ago, but believes she has the right to go to Congress and decide issues that will directly affect our God-given constitutional rights. She's one of those that believes the Constitution should be destroyed and rewritten. And she goes on to say there's nothing more American than socialism. It is proven to deliver life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Clearly, she hasn't done her historical research on socialism. I think we just got to play the clip because this is pretty unbelievable, but this is the brightest and best we have to offer. And if this is her feeling, then don't stay here in the U.S. Get the fuck out. I don't want you here. I don't want socialism. I don't want communism. If I did, I'd go live in a socialist or communist country. But socialism and communism has failed in nearly every country. Sure, there's modified versions of communism, but look what happened to Cuba. And she's going to claim, I mean, it's right next door. Take a look. This is an idiot. And this is what happens when you have this kind of ideology being taught in the educational system. She just, wants to give free to everybody. So let's play the clip.
All right.
I don't think there's anything more American than subscribing to an economic philosophy that, as the evidence shows, is the only one that's actually capable of delivering things like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I really can't think of anything else.
Socialism has proven to deliver on the values of the Declaration of Independence more than capitalism has.
Yeah. When we talk about capitalism, one of the things that folks talk about with capitalism is a theory is that it's responsible for, delivering people out of poverty here in the U.S.
More people out of poverty around the world than any other economic system. Yeah.
Yes, which isn't the entire story. At the same time that a lot of folks were getting delivered out of poverty, there were a lot of social safety programs that were also being created at the same time. A lot of fair labor laws that were being enacted. Rights that workers were taking back to make sure that they were not working in unsafe conditions, to make sure that they were earning fair wages. That is not capitalism, right? Unfettered capitalism is where the capitalists, the owners of the means of production, are the only ones that are calling the shots. And you are lucky to have the job, and you just have to deal with the conditions. Socialism is about delivering democracy in the workplace and making sure that workers have a say about the conditions that they're working in, about negotiating for the kind of wage that would be fair for the labor that they are contributing to whatever industry it is that they're working in. And I also think that, when folks think of capitalism, they think of free markets and competition and, innovation. And
what do you think of?
I think of monopolies.
Well, here's my take. Capitalism offers choices and delivers prosperity, and it's been proven over and over again. Socialism delivers poverty and death. Take a look. Look at the countries that were socialist countries. Look at the people. Look at how impoverished they are. Look at Cuba. Even Russia failed. I believe right now what they have is not really true communism, is communism combined with capitalism. It's the same thing that China does. Leadership seems to be affluent. Their own people have their own issues. But history's filled with examples of this. You don't need to listen to me. You can look at history. Look at the socialist governments and think about where they're going. This is the kind of ideology that's just ridiculous. This is somebody that doesn't have any life experience, clearly doesn't have any historical data to back up what they're talking about. And they're just, repeating what they think the DSA wants to hear, and they think they're going to get into Congress. And this is why they don't want the SAVE Act passed, because they want to be able to install people like this to destroy our country from within. So,
hold on, Lance. I'm talking.
You can do better, man. You can do better than this.
I'm talking to people in chat in Missouri. I thought it was property taxes, but they're telling me it was income tax. They voted no on no income tax. I'm trying to figure out why.
Who knows?
My mod, I'm going to need a detailed description on why in our chat, not here in the TG chat.
All right. Well, look, if you love the show, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up, the comment, share the short form and the long form. Do everything you can. If you want to leave us a Rumble Rant tip on the way out the door, at a minimum, hit that follow button. If you're brand new, next time you come into the chat, don't be shy. Come on in. Let us give you a shout out. Don't forget to follow our community over on X. You just go to the Big Mig Show on X and hit the community. And here's the last piece of homework. Go out there and follow us on YouTube and Locals, and follow us on all the major podcast platforms, whichever ones you belong to. All those follows, all the comments, all the sharing of content, it all adds up, and we need your help. Without you guys, it'd just be George and I talking to each other like we do all day long anyway. All right, we love you guys. George,
Lance,
last words.
I'm going to say, when you say stuff like that, don't tell the people I'm going to give you homework, because nobody fucking likes homework, bro. We're going to have to come up with a new saying. Just saying. Trying to help us out here. I'm not giving the homework assignment. Just go out and do it, though. Please. Thank you. Love you guys. See you guys tomorrow. I love you tomorrow.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit blocktrustira.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. Don't leave your future to chance. Order your Silver Prepper Bars now at prepperbar.com. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these K9 units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit warriordogfoundation.org.